What's going on, YouTube? It's ya boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NFL video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Comment anything in the comment section. Add your name to the $100 giveaway I do every single week on this channel. All that good stuff. You know what I mean? You guys get it. This is the final video to get in on that giveaway. This is the final game of week 6. We are not even halfway through the season yet, ladies and gentlemen, but we're getting there. Going on to week 7 next week. This is the final video of week 6. As I've been building for this game, I'll say this. I am in no way, shape, or form a Denver Bronco fan. I dislike Denver. I liked them when Manning was quarterback. I just don't like them much since he left there. So I mean, I'm not into Denver. I don't. They're just not very good or exciting for me. So I mean, but I do like the Chargers. I think the Chargers are an exciting team. Mike Williams is in a good spot. Eckler's in a good spot. All that good stuff. I love Justin Herbert. He's the future of the NFL, pretty much. He's one of those young quarterbacks that's going to be amazing, and he is amazing already. Imagine how much better he's going to get. But this game screams to me Chargers getting that dub, obviously, in LA, and Denver having to pass a ton to catch up. That's the game script I'm projecting here. As you guys know, with these single games, that's the most important thing, is to get that projection of what you expect the script to be like right. And if you do that, you're sitting pretty. Plain and simple. All right. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. I'm gonna do my 3-player core. We're gonna kind of break down, talk about everybody that we have interest in. Starting at captain, my favorite versions that I've made have had Cortland Sutton at captain. Now, Cortland Sutton's getting almost 30% of the target share of wide receivers on this team. He is the offense for Denver. Now, Jerry Jeudy's second with like 21%. At least last week. I'm going off of last week's actual target shares that we saw last week with Javonte Williams out. Um, so Cortland Sutton is the main offense for this team. He's only 8-4 as a flex. He's only 12-6 as a captain. He gets you a solid spot at that captain position. Remember, DK is full point PPR. Okay, I'm not saying you need to go Cortland Sutton as the MVP on FanDuel, because scoring is just different over there. But on DraftKings, over on FanDuel, I prefer quarterback. I would go Herbert. But on DK, we're full point PPR over here, baby. All right, and with this game script, with Denver being behind, it's going to be a ton of pass heavy for Russell Wilson. Okay, they're going to try to establish the run all they can, but eventually they're going to have to throw that out. They do run like over 40%. So they try to really run the ball heavy in Denver, but they're not going to really have much of a choice here but to throw the ball with them being behind. So eventually they're going to have to throw that game plan out, and they're going to have to start airing it out often. And with that being said, Cortland Sutton is the main target for Russell Wilson. He is the main go-to guy. He is a super talented receiver. I love this dude. I think he's in a fantastic position, and Sutton is a guy that I love at the captain spot. Next up, a guy that I'm locking is Austin Eckler for LA. You've got Keenan Allen out. You've got Jalen Guyton out. You've got a couple receivers out. Outside of Mike Williams, I mean, you've got some other guys that we'll talk about. But mainly, Herbert's going to rely heavily on Eckler. Not only is the game script good for Eckler leading up to LA getting the lead, right? No matter how this game works out, it's an Eckler game script type of game. If they fall behind, it's going to be a ton of Eckler in the pass. If they get ahead, it's going to be a ton of Eckler running the ball. Plain and simple, Eckler has been fantastic. The game script is fantastic for him here. I love Eckler. He gets such a high usage in this offense. He is a big-time part of this LA offense. And like I said, when Keenan Allen's out, that's a big receiver out of this offense. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Keenan Allen being out, Keenan Allen's one of the top receivers in the league. With Keenan Allen out of this offense, that's a big-time loss for them. And Eckler has definitely done a fantastic job at filling that void. So Eckler, I absolutely love. He is my favorite probably play on this slate. Maybe outside of him and Herbert are right there for me as top plays on the slate. But with this, the way the scoring is on DK, I like Eckler's chances to get plenty in the pass game, plenty of touchdown opportunities. I think he's got the highest probability of getting in the end zone tonight. So Austin Eckler's a focal point. I'll have him no matter what. Obviously, Mike Williams is a fantastic option, ladies and gentlemen. He is a fantastic option. I love him. I don't love the price at 10.6, especially with I already have Eckler locked in the majority of my lineups. And with this game script, them being up, unless Mike Williams is a big part of getting up, which he could be. He could catch a couple touchdowns and be the big reason why they're up, sure. Or that could also be Austin Eckler, and then the game script's not really in Mike Williams' favor. So with this game script, I side Eckler. Mike Williams, obviously, I still like this guy. A lot of people will take it as like if I don't put a guy in my lineup, I didn't like him or something. Like there was a showdown slate last week where Kelsey went for 4 touchdowns and like 50 yards or something crazy like that. Like the dude got like I don't know, 6 catches, 4 touchdowns. Like that's an outlier type of performance. That's not going to happen. If Travis Kelsey only gets even 2 touchdowns, and it's crazy to even say somebody getting 2 touchdowns, but if Kelsey even gets 2 touchdowns that day, I smashed with the way that I played it. But because Kelsey got 4 touchdowns, it broke the slate. And everybody was telling me I was dumb for not having Kelsey, like as if I could have every single player that I wanted on there. But that's the same kind of thought process here, y'all. Is like, look, we can only have a certain amount of players in a showdown slate. Okay, if I have to choose between Mike Williams or Eckler, I got to go Eckler. Just based solely off of the game script here and the usage situation here for him. I just love Eckler. He's going to be used in so many different ways. And like I said, the game script could end up not favoring Williams much. And especially if he's not the big reason why they're up to begin with, that could be a struggle. Melvin Gordon. Okay, so obviously they're without Williams for Denver. That's fantastic for Melvin, obviously. But he only played 52 snaps week 5 with Williams out. And Boone played like over 20-something%. So he's not, Denver's falling behind. Denver's going to fall behind here. And yes, Melvin Gordon gets involved in the pass game. He's a decent pass catching running back. But this doesn't favor Melvin a ton. All right. He could get some little dump offs and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. But 100%, if you had to decide between Melvin Gordon and Sutton, it's got to be Sutton. I do like Melvin Gordon. I like him more than like Jerry Jeudy, obviously, as you can see. But Sutton is my main go-to guy on Denver playing from behind. But Melvin Gordon could sneak in a touchdown, sure, but I don't have a ton of him in my favorite builds. I have some in some of them that I've built so far, but in my favorite builds, haven't had Melvin Gordon. Now, the final core guy that I'm going to go with, I'm trying to figure out what I want that last guy to be. It could be a bunch of different options. I'm going to go with a value play for you guys. Eric Saubert really sticks out to me as a very solid value play for me today. There's a couple of them. They're right here with each other. These are my two favorite value plays of the day. Eric Saubert for Denver, getting a nice little usage bump today with injuries on Denver. DeAndre Carter, obviously, with Keenan Allen out, Guyton out, like I said. DeAndre Carter's going to benefit from that. DeAndre Carter's also a solid value as well. Those are my two favorite values on this slate. There's not a ton down here in the hundreds range that I'm interested in. I just really don't have much interest in any of that. I really want Saubert and Carter in there. And that's another reason why I haven't had a ton of versions having Mike Williams as well, because it's just hard, man. And if you have to choose between Mike Williams and Herbert, that's an extremely tough choice too. If you have to choose between Mike Williams and Russell Wilson, even with this game script with Denver being behind, Wilson's going to throw a lot. So it's a tough decision to make there, especially if you have Courtland Sutton at captain. When it comes to roster construction, that's one of the this is one of the hardest things, right? So for example, let me talk about my favorite lineup that I had, my most optimal feeling lineup that I had for week 6, right? I loved Tyler Lockett this week. Y'all know that, okay? Now, when you break down the matchups, Buffalo, Kansas City was one of the best option games to get involved in, and Seattle, Arizona was one of the best. And this is before the slate started. Okay, now when you look at the numbers for Seattle, Arizona, you will see that not only does both defenses not give much pressure, but both offenses we're going to have both offenses, plain and simple, we're going to have plenty of time as of so far this year to throw the ball. Neither was giving up much pressure. Both offensive lines were doing okay. Like both teams were, like, when you look at the offensive lines, both were in an amazing spot. Both sides quarterbacks were in an amazing spot to just air this thing out. Both defenses, bottom defenses in the league. Seattle at home, Geno Smith, significantly less than Josh Allen chalk, or Josh Allen higher owned guy. So, and Josh Allen is in a fantastic spot, don't get me wrong. I loved him. And my slash version had Josh Allen. But at the end of the day, roster construction, y'all. So I ended up feeling like, you know what? Denver, Buffalo, Kansas City. I love that game. Love that game. But when you look at the prices of the players in the games and how much of a difference I expect the overall total points of that game to be, I saw Seattle, Arizona possibly being able to score the most points on the entire slate when it came to that game environment. That's based off of not only Vegas having them as the second highest overall over under total, right behind Kansas City um, and Buffalo. But both of these defenses, bottom defenses in the league, who've been getting torn up. So it was a fantastic spot to game stack Seattle, Arizona, and it just didn't work out that way. But because of roster construction, this is what I'm getting to. I went Geno Smith at quarterback because I loved Lockett already. I already had Rondell Moore, who was a fantastic option. I already had Eno Benjamin, who was a fantastic option. That gives me two guys that I'm locking on Arizona no matter what my build is because they're fantastic positions and they're way too cheap, right? Then you look on the other side of this game, I already have Lockett. It makes total sense to put Geno Smith at quarterback, pair up Lockett and Metcalf, run back those Arizona guys, and then fucking, just off construction. That was a beautiful way to play it yesterday. And at the end of the day, after all of the research, if it doesn't turn out to work out in your favor, that's okay because this is DFS and that's going to happen. But majority of the time, those type of decisions are going to be 100,000. Those are going to be big decisions, especially on a slate like that we had yesterday, where it was obvious coming in that the slate was going to be extremely chalky. It was key to get different where you could. And if you take the L, you take the L. If you take the W, it's going to be a big W. And at the end of the day, that's how you got to play it. And a lot of people don't understand the roster construction aspect of things. And honestly, I've been doing this 8+ years and I've explained it a million times before. So I don't really feel like I have to do it too much anymore for people who don't understand what I'm doing. But I like to make points like this in my videos because I really want y'all to learn that, because roster construction is one of the most important things in DFS. Whether the roster construction ends up turning out in your favor or not, learning how to build and how to correlate is one of the most important things that you can possibly do. Okay? And that's just how it is. Game script, correlation, roster construction is one of the most important things in DFS. So you get that right, you're in a fantastic spot. Now, it takes a long time to learn these things. Like I've said, I've been playing DFS since DFS originated. I've been having so much success throughout my DFS career. I've just been doing this for a long time. This is a natural for me. This is what I do. So I naturally fall on the best correlated, best optimal lineups possible. If they don't hit, they don't hit. But at the end of the day, they are, before the slate starts, the most optimal way that you can possibly play if you're playing one single bullet on the slate every single week. That's my job. That's what I do all week. All I do all week is just go over versions and find the most possible optimal lineup. And whether it hits or not, it is the most optimal research possible line you can play before the fact. That's it. And then DFS, the exciting part about DFS is crazy shit happens. That Seattle Arizona game ended up being super low scoring. Like, even though everything told you the game was going to be high scoring and over, it went opposite. And sometimes that happens in DFS, and that's the exciting part about it, because you can do as much as you possibly can. But guess what? For the most part, those are big time weeks. Like I just won 70,000 a couple years ago when I bought my house, over 70,000, right? And I've had multiple of those days back when I played by myself and wasn't doing this stuff for Greenlight. I've had several, multiple days of just huge dominant wins. And since I've been doing Greenlight DFS, I've been focusing more on being safe and consistent. So I've shifted my construction to a consistent style, which is beneficial for the regular players, and those are the people I'm here for. I'm here to help the regular players succeed on a consistent basis, and help y'all learn throughout the way as well. And you know, every single build that I build is set up before the slate starts to be like super consistent and safe, yet have that slate breaking upside as well. Sometimes some people say, oh, if you're going for a takedown, you got to take risks. You got to not have certain spots. Like, you can't be safe in any way. No, there is a way every single week to be safe, have a safe floor, yet also have the potential of some high upside. Just because a guy is low owned doesn't mean he's risky. That just means people are sleeping on him. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean he's risky because he's low owned. I was extremely excited to see I got, like, this is what I'm saying. Even though I know I'm going on a rant, but I'm pretty much done with the core, and we get I've touched about the slate. But even though DK Metcalf had a horrible game, the position was fantastic. The spot was fantastic for him. And pairing up Gino, when I won that 70,000 and the reason I highlight that one is because all my customers won like 10,000 plus too. It was a huge week for everybody, and a lot of y'all watching were probably a part of that. Like people won life changing amounts of money. One guy won over 100,000, even more than I won, because I didn't enter as much as he did. But anyways, so with that being said, in that lineup, I paired Watson up with Will Fuller and Kuti, I think it was. I can't remember. It was two Houston wide receivers with my quarterback and ran back with two other from the other side. And that's exactly what I did this week. I felt going into this slate that it was a legitimate takedown potential. Legitimate. And whatever happens at the end of the day happens, but I definitely was happy about that line, and that's my focus. Every single time I put something out, my focus is, look, can I make this better? No? Okay, then this is it. Regardless of what happens after the fact, is what it is. But this is the best I can possibly do, and I'm going to work on it all day until I have the number one possible version. All right? Anyway, so let's just go over this real quick. Austin Eckler's my favorite play. I love Justin Herbert. Don't get me wrong. I really love Wilson playing from behind in this game script, 1,000 less than Herbert as well. I don't have a ton of Mike Williams. You know I'm super transparent to that. I don't have a ton of Mike Williams right now in my favorite lineups that I've come up with. He's not showing up in a ton of them because that price at 10.6. But Cortland Sutton's a focal point. Melvin Gordon is playable, but the main way that he hits value is if he's getting a lot of dump offs playing from behind. Jerry Jeudy at 7K is very interesting to me because of that game script for Denver. I definitely love the Denver receiving guys playing catch up. Saubert's my favorite overall value with this game script. DeAndre Carter, the game script doesn't favor him a ton, but he's 2.6. And with the injuries to the Chargers, he's going to get some good run. DeAndre Carter's a solid option as well. So that's mainly it. I probably won't have any defense. I mean, the defense that I would consider playing if I had to choose a defense would be the Chargers. Um, because Denver just is going to be playing from behind and some mistakes could easily be made there. But outside of that, that's about it, man. It's a fantastic slate. I'm excited for it. I've been working on it for a while. I do like Gerald Everett as well. I think Everett gets a nice little bump as well with these injuries to the Charger receivers. Joshua Palmer's interesting as well. So we've got some interest on this slate, but pretty much the interesting part about here is we don't have any super cheap value. The best value is going to be Salbert, to me, in my opinion at least, at 2,000, and then DeAndre Carter at 2.5. Outside of that, there's not much more. So really, that's another reason, like I said, with roster construction, that I haven't had a ton of Mike Williams because I have to make those tough decisions between the main guys that I want. And if I have to choose, I'll probably side with Wilson over Williams with game script and Wilson playing from behind and all that good stuff, especially if I have Cortland Sutton at captain. But yeah, I love Cortland Sutton at captain with this game script playing from behind. Like I said, Denver, their offense is Sutton right now. Austin Eckler is a huge focal point of that Chargers offense. No matter how this game script goes, he's heavy usage. And then Eric Salbert as our value to make other things happen at only 2,000. Love him in this game script as well, playing catch up with the Chargers. And that's about it, y'all. Good luck. Remember what I talked about in this slate, and that's why I went on the rants, because I really want y'all to understand, coming from a professional DFS player as myself, I like to take time sometimes to explain things to y'all and really break things down in mindset and why I do things. I do that in my videos, but sometimes I gotta, because I want y'all to learn from these things. You know what I'm saying? I want y'all to really soak these things in and learn. Because, I mean, I've been able to learn my lessons and find the best ways to play off just trial and error throughout playing just so long. I've been playing every day for like 10 years. You know what I mean? Like since DFS originated, I've played every single day. You know what I mean? So I just it's second nature. It's like riding a bike for me. But doing these things, if I can just teach y'all slowly but surely, I can't just get you to learn it all in one video. It's gonna take a while, and the more you play, the more you'll learn. But this these different ways to play. Sometimes I'll lose a slate, right? And people will be like, "Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do this?" Um, there's always deep meaning behind everything. Like I've said, I only have a single bullet for my people. Like my main focus, I don't play for myself. Like, no, I play, but I don't play for myself. I'm not focused on max entering after I make sure everybody's set up. You know what I mean? I don't build my optimal for green light and then go and max enter and do my own thing and make different versions. I don't do that. I play exactly what I put on the page because that is my main focus. Now, obviously, yes, if I was max entering, I would be at the top of contests on a consistent basis. Yes, I'd be up there with those other guys. But that's not the exciting part for me. That's not fun for me. The fun part for me is bringing everyone to the top with me. I don't really want to be up there by myself. I don't care about that. Money doesn't make me happy. That's just not my key happiness when it comes to DFS. The key happiness for me is putting that work in and seeing that shit succeed and succeed for others, not just myself. So anyways, as time goes on, that's the point of Greenlight. Creating tools, creating all different things, doing these videos, just help people learn along the way and become better players for themselves and just have fun with this, man. Because at the end of the day, you just don't want to take it too overly serious or beat yourself up too much. I used to beat myself up a ton. When I played for myself, I wouldn't because, I know how much work I'm putting in. It's all good. But now that I got Greenlight and I'm really helping others, if I have an off day or things don't go how I'm expecting them to go, or how they should go based off of all of the analytics, because that's what you're supposed to base every choice off of. So if all the analytics leads you to it just not working in this weird crazy week, how that just happens, then it is what it is, y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's DFS. There's nobody in this industry who's going to win every time, especially with a single bullet. What we have done in this industry with one single lineup in every single different sport and the success we've had and the consistency we've had is unheard of. It does not happen. The reason we're having this success is because of the just amount of effort put in every single week. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we just got to continue grinding, baby. And we got more season. We're not even halfway through the season this year. All right, I'm excited about this showdown, baby. Let's get it Monday. We are on Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. NBA begins tomorrow with a 2-game slate. I'm going to be putting that video up. I'm working on the NBA optimizer right now. As soon as I get that ready, I'm going to record my NBA video for the 2-game slate. That'll be coming today. So after you watch this, stay tuned for an NBA video. And yeah, we got the 2-game tomorrow and then a big slate Wednesday, baby. So it's exciting times. It's exciting times. GreenlightDFS.com. We got the early bird NBA special over on Greenlight right now. If you didn't get week 6 with us, you can get week 7 and get Monday night included for NFL. If you want to go grab that at Greenlight also. Thank you guys for watching me. Sorry about the rant and all that. Hopefully y'all were able to soak in some knowledge from that and understand, how things go. Correlation is so important, so I wanted to take some time and talk about that and give y'all an example based off the lineup that I played personally. If I would have not had Greenlight, I would have made multiple other lineups and would have gotten a takedown most likely, or top 10 every time, damn near, pretty much how I used to do. But now that I do Greenlight, I play one lineup, and that's it. And a lot of people are like, why didn't we play this guy? Why didn't we play this guy? The main focus on that is because I can't play everybody. All right, there's always going to be guys that are fantastic spots that could kill you. You have to just pull the trigger and make your decisions based off the analytics, and Geno Smith was a fantastic play this week. DK Metcalf, fantastic play this week. The guys just didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? So take our L's and we keep it moving, baby. There's a big W coming. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm out. Peace.